Peace, family. How you doing? It's Mr. R2 here at Consistency is Currency. Normally, of course, I would say your morning podcast of choice. I'll still say that. Your morning podcast of choice. But today, uh, we're reversing the order. Normally, the podcast will be broadcasted live every weekday at 7:30, but today we're inverting the process and we're doing it in the evening. I kind of want to test the audience out just to see which audience will give a much better response, check the algorithm and stuff like that. So yeah, good evening. So I can't say good morning. Yeah, this is different. Very, very different. Just want to try it out. Just look at the numbers. So the questions for you, the open dialogue, is what uh how do you have a meaningful life? That's a question for you. I want to create this dialogue before we jump into it. So for those that are new to the platform, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you. If you ever want to go back, because as you can see, this is the episode 187th episode on the podcast. So if you ever want to go back, listen to all 186, you have every opportunity to do so. What I'm going to do for you right now, before I jump into it, I am going to add the link to the platform. You know what I'm going to do? I'm not even going to add the whole link. I'm going to give you the last episode that we did, which was called Seek Victory. So I'm going to drop that episode inside the chat, and then you can go back and listen to that one, and you can fall in and listen to everything else previously that was there before. So that's what we're doing right now. We're reversing the order just to see, kind of like split testing, A/B split test. Of course, I've been doing A. But now we're going to split to do B to see what we're doing right now. So a question to you is, what do you feel is the meaning to life? That's a question for you, an open dialogue question. That means those who are watching can actually go inside the chat or in the comment section and respond. So I'm going to tell you what it does when you actually respond. It actually helps with the algorithm. It push this live much higher on the news feed. So if I say good evening to you, you can say good evening back. So if I ask a question, you can easily respond to that question, and it's kind of like a give and take. We're speaking in that digital language. That's what algorithm is. It's language that flows in a rhythmic pattern. So good evening to you, and you can say good evening back. So let's go ahead and jump into it real quick, real quick. Oh, I forgot. I would say good evening to our new LinkedIn family. For those that are watching right now on LinkedIn, I appreciate you for watching. So right now you can watch this on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, like 2 Facebook groups. So I thank you for being here, LinkedIn, my LinkedIn crew. I appreciate you for being here. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it. Like always, for those that may be new to the platform, or those who are not new to the platform, go ahead and take this live, share it on your news feed, or share it in the active Facebook group, because trust and believe there's somebody that's going to be touched today when we're talking about how to live a meaningful life. And for those that may be new to the platform, you're going to get definition of the words. I'm going to invert the definition to give it to you in a different context, just so you can understand it from my perspective. Again, everything that you see definition wise and things of that nature, you can always go back and you can look up the definition for yourself, because everything that is here can be reviewed and looked up and all this other stuff, blah, blah, blah. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this real quick. All right, the meaning to life. How to have a meaningful life. So, of course, we're going to go with the definition of the word meaningful, because the word meaningful means to you what it means to you. I mean, it's true. So let's jump with the definition. It says the definition of meaningful is full of meaning, significance, purpose, or value. It says full of meaning, significance, purpose, or value. So now, before I jump, we're gonna try something a little bit different. Normally, I tell you what the inversion is, but for this one, what I want to ask you is, which word stands out to you? It's either going to be significance, purpose, or value, whatever that is. So again, the definition of meaningful is full of meaning, significance, purpose, or value. The one that resonates with you the most, go ahead and put that inside the chat. And I'm going to tell you why you actually decided to put that particular word. So again, from the word, from the definition of meaningful is full of meaning, significance, purpose, or value. That's the open dialogue. So which one means the most to you? All right, we see Ms. Brooks said purpose. So she said purpose is what is significant to her in this definition, was purpose. So as you come along, the word that resonates with you the most, go ahead and put that inside the chat. So now I'm gonna tell you what the reason why you pick purpose, Ms. Brooks, is because to me, again, the inversion on this is full of, I mean, the inversion on this is red over white, which is full of significance. So to you, purpose is a lot more significant to you than anything that you do, because you always want to walk in your purpose. You always want to do things that is purposeful to you. So therefore, that's where you begin to understand that how you live a meaningful life to you, that means the things that you do must have purpose. Again, that's why we do the definitions this way, because I want you to see it from how you see it, because the thing that is meaningful to you is up to you. It's not up to somebody else to decide what is meaningful to you. It's not up for you to make your decision or base your decision based off of somebody else's meaning, but it is what you find true meaning in, is how you're going to actually live your life. And that's what we have to understand, because a lot of times people want to communicate about us, about our life, but they're not living our life. So therefore, it's not about what they say, it's about what you say. It's about the life that you live. It's about that thing that is significant to you. It's about that purpose that you have, or the purpose that you live for yourself. It's about the value of you either valuing yourself or how value others that you communicate yourself. That you communicate with. So the second meaning of meaningful, you heard it, meaning. The second definition of meaningful is having an assigned function in a language system. So this one right here, it kind of threw me off a little bit, but it kind of drew me back in, because I had to look at it from a different perspective. So now when it says having an assigned function in a language system, so the inversion on this is red over white. Having an assigned function. So because it's talking about a language system, so how do you function in the language that you speak to yourself? Because just like she said, the word that stuck out to her the most was purpose. So now that begins the process of her assigned function in her language system. It's kind of like the book when it says the 5 love languages, right? So now developing what is your language what is your assigned function in the language that you speak about you. Those are the things that you find meaningful, or the things that you feel that has meaning in your life. Those words that are your assigned function. Her assigned function in the definition of meaningful was purpose. That's like an aha moment. Like, wow, I never thought about it that way. I can honestly say I didn't think about it that way neither until I began to break down the word meaningful. Because for me, my assigned function in the word, or in the definition of the word meaningful, was significance. That was my assigned word, because your assigned word was purpose. So for those that are looking at it now my question for you, looking at the definition, what is your assigned word? In the definition, it's either significance or it's purpose or it's value, because that's how you see things. That's how you see people. That's how you see the places that you go. It's either going to be of significance to you, or it's going to be there is a purpose why you went there, or a purpose why you said that, or you're doing things that has or hold a significant value. It can be a conjunction, or it can be placing things together. Either you move with valuable people, or you're going to remove yourself from people that you no longer find significant, or people that you don't even find significant. So again, remember, meaningful is having an assigned function in a language system. So let's begin the process of taking this deep dive. How do you have a meaningful life? So let's kind of put those two together, because it sounds like to have a meaningful life is to find a significant, to have a significance in what you do or you say, or to be full of purpose in what you do or the words that you use, or to have a full value or a full scope of a significant language in how you speak to yourself. So this deep dive in learning what and how to have a meaningful life is how you see it. Because we all going to have someone in our life that has been significant to us, or places that we've gone that has been significant to where we are right now, or having that significant moment that reminds us of our past, because it's helping shape the direction and the place that we're about to go. So in order for you to begin to understand that to have a meaningful life, we must acknowledge that we have to campaign, right? Because living a meaningful life is really a perceived level of significance, because it's what you perceive it to be, not me. I mean, I can only give recommendations, but you as an individual, or you as an adult, you're going to campaign the thing that means the most to you. If it is your significant other, you're going to campaign for them. You're going to do things that has value or that holds value. You're going to campaign for that. If it's your family, if it's your job, if it's your business, if it's your career, whatever it is, you're going to campaign for it. You're going to begin to do the things that execute purposeful activities, because you're campaigning for it. And that's not something that you develop overnight. That's something that is worked on over and over again. It's that developing that mental muscle group. Because if I'm campaigning for myself, that means I'm not going to let the words that you say affect me. Or if it did affect me, I must understand that the thing that you said to me, I still choose me. And that's how you have to see it. No matter what people say to you, or something that might have hurt your feelings, you're still going to have to campaign for you. How many times have we let somebody's words or somebody else's language, let's use that. We allowed someone else's language to tear us down, or someone else's language to take us off course, or someone else's to impede our travel, because we allow it to hurt us. But this is the moment where you're going to have to campaign for you. This is the time to where you're going to have to understand that if this is going to be a forever thing, if this campaigning for me is going to have to be a forever thing, that means that it's not something that I do once. That is a learned process. Campaigning for you is a learned process. It's like someone saying, I choose me. That means they're saying I choose me because that is a learned process. Something has led to that point to where they begin to campaign for them. Now, there's nothing wrong with campaigning for you, but you have to understand that because I'm campaigning for me doesn't necessarily mean that I don't want to be around you. That means that I understand my value. So now the question to you is, do you understand your value, or do you understand the value of campaigning for you? You're just as important as those who you find yourself around. You're just as important as the people. You're just as important as the place, because you're beginning the process of campaigning for you. Because as you begin to campaign for you, now you have to understand that you have to begin to reframe how your language is, how you communicate about yourself, how you develop, and how you begin to reshape those functioning words. Because when you engage into a meaningful language, you actually begin to believe in yourself even more. Because to reframe how your language, that means you're actively doing something. That means you're learning the process of something. Because you begin to take greater pride in how you see yourself. Like, how do you feel about yourself today? Today, I feel great. How are you going to go about the healing process? I'm going to go about the healing process as I heal. I will take it a day at a time. I will take it a situation at a time. I will take it a moment at a time. I will take it how I perceive my healing to be. Because when you understand how you begin to reframe your how, you're going to understand that you're going to feel more responsible for your outcome. That's just like someone saying, I can only, what did it say? I am responsible for how I react, right? Because you're responsible for how you react. So now my question to you is, how are you reframing? How will you reframe your language? Because if you're now, or you feel more responsible for your outcome, so understand that your outcome only happens because of what you put into it. Because it allows you to become even that much more able to handle stress, because you reframe how you speak to yourself. You reframe how you see yourself. You reframe those moments and those memories in what happened in the past in order for you to begin to campaign for a better future. Because you've built that muscle of reframing it, or you've built that muscle in campaigning for you, that allows you to begin to develop and stay in your perfect peace. Especially when you understand why you do what you do and how you're going to continue to do what you do. And the third thing that I want you to understand is you have to choose with integrity, right? Because something that is meaningful is something that begins to resonate with you even more, because there's meaning to it. Because now it makes it reasonable. Like, oh, now I know why I do it. Because there's reason. There's a different reason. And now you're going to begin to calculate the things that you accept. Like, okay, I accept my responsibility. I accept ethically, morally, and of sound judgment, and I am moving with integrity because I choose to move with integrity. Because when you begin to know what you do and learn why you do it, it gives you a better meaning, right? It gives you a better meaning of what you're going to do next because you understood the process on why you did it, and you're understanding the process on why you feel a certain way. Because you're going to have more integrity on the places that you go. You're going to develop more integrity on the people that you hang around. You're going to have more integrity on why you no longer go to those places or why you're no longer around those people, because you choose integrity. It's not up to them to choose integrity. It's your integrity, not theirs. And after you begin to choose integrity, you're going to have to foster a passion. You're going to have to find that thing that drives you. Because motivation is like that useful activity that you do to get you to do something. But it's your passion that is that driving force that gives that significance to the thing that you constantly and consistently do, because you built that muscle. And when you do that, that's when you begin to seek those positive behaviors, because there's a new passion, there's a new why that you do what you do. And because there's a new why that you do what you do, it begins to develop your what's next. And because it begins to develop your what's next, it's going to allow things to be that much more okay for you. Because you're going to have a much stronger meaning to your life, because you're going to have a new passion. You're going to reframe how you speak to yourself. You're going to reframe the language that you say to yourself. And you're going to begin to understand that if I am ever going to continue to feel better about myself and to be stronger in the who that I am going to have to campaign for me, even when no one else is campaigning for me at all. So the meaning, or to have a meaningful life, is how you perceive it to be, how you respond to the things that happen to you, how you communicate to yourself when you speak to yourself. That is going to begin to change how you see the meaning to your life. All right, so this is a process, and it's not something that ends after you have done it. It's something that you continue to do even after you have tried it. And then you just duplicate that process and become consistent at it. And then that muscle group that you've developed to campaign for you, it becomes a lot stronger because you are starting to listen to you in the process. All right, so I'll see you in the morning here at 0730 for those at our prior service, 7:30 in the morning for those who are not. Right here at Consistency is Currency. It will still be your morning podcast of choice. Peace.